everyone, welcome back to Yard to Table. My name's Angela and welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, we are making a month and a half's worth of smoothies for a fraction of what it costs to buy that stuff at the store. So let's get started. Make sure you hit the like button and click subscribe. I really want to live healthier this year and have more energy, lose a little bit of weight, and just have an overall better sense of health and well-being, mentally and physically as well. So I figured, why not start the year rolling that way? And I was doing a little bit of research at the grocery store as far as like pre-made smoothies go, and there's the circles, the Aviv that you can break off, and some other solutions. And I was looking at the prices of them and they're expensive. And I thought to myself, I've got a ton of frozen fruit in the freezer and I've got mason jars. So why don't I just do it by myself? It'll be easier to dump everything into mason jars, and then every morning I can just dump it into the blender, add some water or coconut milk, whatever fits my mood that day. And it's gonna be a fraction of the cost. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do with you guys today. I collected all of my 500 ml little pint jars, and some of them have rings, some of them don't. It's okay, I've got some in my pantry, and I'm just gonna kind of wing it. I've got ginger and lemon cubes, I've got some wheatgrass going. I'm not gonna include those into here. I'm only gonna have fruit in these guys, and they're gonna take up quite a bit of space because I'm not pre-blending anything. I'm just throwing everything from the bags directly into here. I figure with these pints, these are a good size to kind of get this going because it'll be enough for me and my husband, and the kids, both of them, just drink a little bit of the smoothie anyways. So I thought this would be a great size, just kind of like a family prep. And once we mix up with water up with this, it'll easily be maybe about 3 cups. So that'll be a great way to kind of start off the morning. And the fruit that I've got is, I've got some blueberries that I picked last year, I've got some dark cherries, and I've got some peaches over here. I've got mixed berry blend, some more blueberries, I've got a tropical bag, some strawberries, and apricots, and mangoes, and pineapples. So we've got lots of fruit to choose from. Okay, so I'm just gonna organize this and put my blueberry together. I've got my berries here, and I've got kind of all my tropical stuff over here, and I've got my apricots over here. Now, I did take them out of the freezer. They're not completely thawed out, and that's okay. I really like having smoothies in the morning. I find it gives me a lot of energy instead of having like a coffee on an empty stomach. I kind of like having something of substance as far as this goes in the morning, especially when I'm dropping the kids off. I've got work to do and whatnot, or if I'm getting errands or whatnot. So I find it a lot more user-friendly as far as that goes to kind of get my day started. So I've got 12 jars over here started, and I don't have any recipes or anything. I'm just kind of wing it. So I've got almost an empty bag of blueberries. So I'm gonna grab a pair of scissors, and I've got my funnel here, and I'm just gonna kind of pour a little bit into each one. Now I definitely want to have a couple of different flavors for smoothies because I figure if I do everything the same, it'll kind of be boring after a while. And well, there goes that bag. All right, that one's done. Got 9 jars here. I've got 12, 12, and 12. So I think I'm gonna just do 4 different flavors. And I'm just doing a handful of the blueberries to start. And I might have to change to a measuring cup because with as cold as this is, I think my fingers are gonna freeze. And this doesn't have to be perfect either. It's whatever happens to be your family's favorite kind of fruit. All right, so we've got our blueberries. I think peaches is gonna be a nice one to have with the blueberries. So again, just, I don't know, that's 5 or 6 slices of peaches. And when I was at the grocery store, and even at Costco, they had this like pre-made like smoothie blend, and they came in these pucks, and even the pucks, like it was, when I broke it down, it was almost $4 each for each one of those pucks. And I get it, it's easy, it's already pre-done for you. They come in these flavors. My fingers are frozen. Oh, that's a piece of ice. Okay, I've got 1/3 of a cup with me because my fingers are so cold. And like I get it, but it's easy, it's already done for you. But as far as my budget goes, if both of us were to do a smoothie every single morning, I'm looking at least about $8 every single morning. I don't have that kind of a budget to be spending on smoothies every morning. So that got me thinking, well, what if I just put them into mason jars? And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And my husband's with the kids doing homework, so I've got time to do this now. Alrighty. And I want to empty out this bag. So I'm just kind of popping in pieces of peaches wherever I can. There we go. All right, and then that one's done. And I think with the leftover juice, I'm just gonna put it into this pitcher, and then we'll kind of have like a fruit punch afterwards, I think. All right, what's this? This is more peaches, apricot, so blueberry, peach, and I think pineapple will be good. And because these are going into the freezer, I don't really have to worry about headspace because this stuff is already frozen. So as far as it expanding, it's not going to expand. I'm just trying to smush them down. All right, there we go. Blueberry, peach, and pineapple smoothie. For the next batch of smoothies, I used a triple berry blend. So it has blackberries, raspberries, and cherries in this blend. And then I'm topping it off with tropical fruit. So there's a passion fruit in there, there's dragon fruit, pineapple, and mango. And I thought that would be a nice kind of berry blend with a little bit tropical twist into the next batch. So this is a full case of 12 that I'm using. And this tropical fruit blend actually came in pre-packaged packages within there. So I just basically broke each one up. So one package was about roughly at least 2. I tried to stretch it out to 3 jars. Over here, the jar that I'm opening is my dehydrated beets. Now, the beets I did not grow. I ended up getting those from a farm because slugs and snails decided to completely eat all of my beets this year. These are bought from a farm, and what I do is I dehydrate them. And the easiest way for me to dehydrate, I have found, is to actually shred either beets or carrots on the biggest setting as if you're shredding cheese. And then what I do is I actually put it through my food processor because I do such a huge amount. But if you want to do it by hand, just realize that the beets will stain your hands. So they will be kind of like a pinkish color for about 2 to 3 days. And eventually it goes away. But what I do is I lay it on parchment paper, kind of thinly, and then I throw it in my dehydrator. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can easily do this in your oven. What you're going to do is just put your oven at the absolute lowest setting. You're going to leave it there for a few hours, but what you're also going to do, you're either going to get like a beach towel or a spatula, wooden spoon, something like that, because you want to actually have the door of the oven cracked open, because all the moisture that you're trying to evaporate is going to get trapped in the oven if you don't. And it's going to take a lot longer for it to dehydrate that way. Whereas if you have the door open, it takes less time. The other thing that I put in here is bee pollen. Now, the beekeepers that I get it from, they're very local. They're just 3 minutes down the road. And they only collect bee pollen for about 24 hours because they do it in a manner so that the bees aren't left with nothing for the winter. And they don't collect a ton of this bee pollen. Just they're very selective with when they collect it, how they collect it, all of that stuff, which is what I really like. And I find I like having the bee pollen in our smoothies. I'm not putting tons. It's only about half a teaspoon in each one of these jars. And I find it helps a lot in the summer if I've had a break from bee pollen, that my allergies just go nuts. Now, the next batch of smoothie that I'm making is dark cherries and strawberries. This is by far my favorite blend of smoothie. It's rich, it's sweet, it's just everything about summer that you would love when it comes to these two fruits. It's just all packaged nicely within this little smoothie. It is by far my favorite. The fourth and final smoothie that I made was cherry, blueberry, pineapple, and mango. And it is such a refreshing one. This is, again, the bee pollen, and in the back, I've got my dehydrated carrot that is going to go in here as well. And it's just so nice that when you've got dehydrated vegetables, I've got greens that I put into smoothies as well. 1 tablespoon of dehydrated, say, carrot, beets, kale, greens, that sort of thing, is roughly the same amount as a cup of the raw stuff. So it's not exact, but I used to buy my dehydrated vegetables like kale, parsley, carrots, and all that stuff from a company, and that's what they said. So now I actually make my own because I didn't realize how easy it is to make dehydrated fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So it's definitely well worth it. Yes, it's a lot of work up front, but at the end of the day, your wallet will thank you, your health will thank you. It's nice and relaxing just to kind of detach yourself and just pre-make all of these. And I use it as, part of my mental health, that at night when my husband's doing homework with the kids, I set aside time to be able to make these smoothies. Yes, I'm doing a lot of work up front, but it's to benefit myself and my family. And that, at the end of the day, is more important to me than anything else going on out there. That my family's taken care of, we're eating as healthy as possible, I know what's going in our food, I know what's going in our bodies, and we're doing the best that we can. And I love it. And I hope you love this journey with me too. I'm just in the garage, and I'm just gonna lay them out all in here, and I'm gonna stack them on top of each other. And I'm okay to stack them on top of each other because they're not pressure canned, they're not water bath canned. They're literally just gonna be sitting like this on top of each other, and they're already gonna be frozen. and that will be okay. I'm not worried about anything siphoning or breaking a seal. In the fridge, in the kitchen, I can fit 14 of these pints in there, which gives me 2 weeks worth of smoothies. So every 2 weeks, I just have to come in here, grab 14 of them. All of these pints actually give me a month and a half's worth of smoothies. So I'm just gonna keep loading up the freezer and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So I've packed up the entire freezer and I'm gonna only be going into this every 2 weeks because I've got 14 pints in the kitchen right now in that freezer. And I've got a bunch of the lemon and ginger shots in the kitchen as well in the freezer. So every morning I just have to open up one of these, pop one of these into the blender, add some water, and that's all that I have to do every morning. And I think it'll be a lot easier for me to get into the smoothie habit because it's gonna be so much easier to get. I just have to grab one of these and I've got a good mix going. I've mixed all of them up. I have no idea what flavor is what, but we're fans of all 4 flavors, so you can't really go wrong. And like I said, I've got a bunch of these already done in the freezer. That's gonna be really easy to pop one out every morning. And I've already got my kale or beet powder or carrot. I've got my bee pollen. So it's pretty much easy. I just have to grab one of those, one of these, and I'm off to the races. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope I've inspired you to get down and have some fun in the kitchen and to make some great smoothies. Until next episode, thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen, and I'll see you later.